A journey through the book of 1 Samuel, a chapter-level exploration. Part 1, the ministry of Samuel and the Ark narrative, chapters 1 to 7. Chapter 1. Hannah, deeply grieved by her barrenness, prays fervently at the tabernacle in Shiloh and vows to dedicate her future son to the Lord. Eli, the high priest, blesses her, and she gives birth to Samuel, whom she brings back to live and serve in the house of the Lord after he is weaned. Chapter 2. Hannah offers a profound song of praise exalting God's sovereignty, while Eli's wicked sons, Hophni and Phinehas, corrupt the priesthood with greed and immorality. A nameless prophet warns Eli of his family's downfall, and young Samuel ministers faithfully before the Lord. Chapter 3. God calls young Samuel in the night, establishing him as a trusted prophet of Israel, and delivers a severe message of judgment against Eli's house, because Eli failed to restrain his rebellious sons. Chapter 4. Israel suffers a devastating defeat against the Philistines. In a desperate move, they bring the Ark of the Covenant into battle, but the Ark is captured. Hophni and Phinehas are killed, and upon hearing the news, Eli falls backward off his seat, breaks his neck, and dies. Chapter 5. The captured ark is placed in the temple of Dagon in Ashkelon, but the pagan idol repeatedly falls over and shatters before it. As the ark travels to other Philistine cities, Gath and Ekron, it brings severe plagues of tumors and panic, forcing the Philistines to look for a way to return it. Chapter 6. The Philistines return the Ark of the Covenant on a cart pulled by 2 nursing cows, accompanied by a guilt offering of gold tumors and mice. The cart stops in Beth Shemesh, where some Israelites look inside the Ark irreverently and are struck down, prompting the people to send the Ark to Kiriath Jearim. Chapter 7. Samuel calls all Israel to repent and put away their foreign idols at Mizpah. When the Philistines attack, God sends a massive thunderstorm that throws them into confusion, securing a great victory for Israel, after which Samuel judges Israel faithfully for many years. Part 2. The Rise and Fall of King Saul, chapters 8 to 15. Chapter 8. As Samuel grows old, his sons prove corrupt. The elders of Israel demand a king so they can be like all the other nations. God tells Samuel to grant their request while solemnly warning them of the heavy taxes, military conscription, and loss of freedom a king will bring. Chapter 9. Saul, a tall and handsome young man from the tribe of Benjamin, searches for his father's lost donkeys. Guided by a servant, he travels to Samuel, whom God has already prepared to anoint Saul as ruler. Chapter 10. Samuel privately anoints Saul with oil as king over Israel, gives him several signs that immediately come true, and later presents him publicly to the nation at Mizpah, where Saul is chosen by lot, despite hiding among the baggage out of humility. Chapter 11. Nahash the Ammonite lays siege to Jabesh Gilead, demanding the men's right eyes as a condition for a treaty. Filled with the Spirit of God, Saul rallies a massive volunteer army of 300,000 Israelites, thoroughly routing the Ammonites and solidifying his kingship at Gilgal. Chapter 12. Samuel delivers a powerful farewell address, recounting God's faithfulness throughout history, calling the people to fear the Lord, and confirming his integrity as a judge through a miraculous sending of thunder and rain during the dry wheat harvest. Chapter 13. Saul gathers an army to fight the Philistines at Michmash. Impatient and terrified because Samuel is late to offer the required sacrifice at Gilgal, Saul presumptuously offers the burnt offering himself, resulting in Samuel rebuking him and prophesying that his kingdom will not endure. Chapter 14. Saul's courageous son Jonathan slips away with his armor-bearer and launches a surprise panic attack against a Philistine outpost, triggering a rout that is aided by an earthquake. During the chaos, Saul issues a rash, foolish oath, forbidding anyone to eat food until evening, which nearly leads to executing Jonathan before the troops intervene. Chapter 15. Samuel commands Saul to completely destroy the Amalekites under God's holy ban. Saul spares King Agag and keeps the best of the livestock for himself, claiming it was for a sacrifice. Samuel delivers a sharp rebuke, declaring that to obey is better than sacrifice, strips Saul of his crown, and executes Agag. Part 3. The Rise of David and Conflict with Saul, chapters 16 to 31. Chapter 16. God sends Samuel to Bethlehem to secretly anoint a young shepherd boy named David, the youngest son of Jesse, as the next king, filling him with the Spirit, while a tormenting spirit from the Lord troubles Saul, who brings David into his court to play the harp and soothe him. Chapter 17. The Philistine champion Goliath taunts Israel's army for 40 days. David visits the camp, expresses righteous indignation, and with absolute faith in God, steps onto the battlefield to defeat the giant with a single smooth stone from a sling, sparking a massive rout of the Philistines. Chapter 18. A deep, loyal friendship forms between David and Saul's son Jonathan. However, when the women sing praises celebrating David's military victories over Saul's, Saul becomes consumed by intense jealousy and paranoia, attempting to spear David multiple times and giving him his daughter Michal as a trap. Chapter 19. Saul openly plots to kill David, but Jonathan intervenes to protect him. Later, Michal helps David escape out a window through a ruse with household idols, and David flees to Samuel at Naioth in Ramah, where Saul's sentry messengers are repeatedly overcome by the prophetic spirit. Chapter 20. David meets secretly with Jonathan to confirm whether Saul truly intends to kill him. Using a prearranged arrow signal in a field, Jonathan sorrowfully confirms Saul's murderous intent, and the two friends exchange a tearful farewell. Chapter 21. Fleeing for his life, David arrives at Nob, where Ahimelech the priest gives him consecrated bread and Goliath's sword. David then escapes to Gath, the Philistine city, where he pretends to be insane to avoid being recognized and executed by King Achish. Chapter 22. David gathers an outcast band of 400 men at the cave of Adullam. Meanwhile, an enraged Saul discovers that Ahimelech helped David and orders Doeg the Edomite to massacre 85 priests in Nob, though Abiathar escapes to join David. Chapter 23. David rescues the town of Keilah from Philistine raiders, but realizing the citizens will betray him to Saul, he moves into the rugged wilderness refuges of Ziph and Maon. Saul pursues him relentlessly, but divine intervention, a sudden Philistine raid, forces Saul to break off the chase just as he is closing in. Chapter 24. While pursuing David in the wilderness of En-Gedi, Saul enters a cave to relieve himself, completely unaware that David and his men are hiding in the back. David quietly creeps up and cuts off a corner of Saul's robe, later showing it to prove his loyalty and mercy, which moves Saul to tears and a temporary truce. Chapter 25. The prophet Samuel dies. Meanwhile, a wealthy, harsh landowner named Nabal insults David's men, but Nabal's wise and beautiful wife, Abigail, intercepts David with a generous food offering, preventing a bloodbath. Nabal dies shortly after from a stroke, and David takes Abigail as his wife. Chapter 26. The Ziphites again betray David's location to Saul. Under the cover of night, David and Abishai slip into Saul's camp while everyone is fast asleep. Instead of killing him, David takes Saul's spear and water jug from beside his head, later calling out to shame Abner's lack of guard duty and prompting another confession of regret from Saul. Chapter 27. Convinced that Saul will eventually kill him, David takes his 600 men and defects to the Philistine city of Gath, where King Achish grants him the town of Ziklag, from which David secretly raids hostile desert tribes, while deceiving Achish into thinking he is attacking Israel. Chapter 28. The Philistines gather for a massive war against Israel. Terrified and abandoned by God, who no longer answers him, a desperate Saul disguises himself and visits a medium at Endor to conjure the spirit of Samuel, who delivers a final, grim prophecy that Saul and his sons will die in battle the next day. Chapter 29. The Philistine commanders distrust David and demand that he and his men be sent away from the battlefield of Aphek, fearing he will turn against them during the fight. Achish reluctantly sends David back to Ziklag. Chapter 30. Returning to Ziklag, David and his men find the city burned to the ground and their wives and children captured by Amalekite raiders. Strengthening himself in the Lord, David pursues them with 400 men, utterly destroys the raiding party, rescues all the captives, and generously shares the plunder. Chapter 31. The battle at Mount Gilboa goes disastrously for Israel as the Philistines overwhelm them. Jonathan and Saul's other sons are killed, and a severely wounded Saul falls on his own sword to avoid capture, after which the triumphant Philistines fasten the bodies to the wall of Beth-shan until brave men from Jabesh-Gilead rescue and bury them. Epilogue. The book of 1 Samuel chronicles a monumental transition in Israel's history, the shift from the chaotic era of the judges to a centralized monarchy, tracing the lives of Samuel, the final judge and prophet, Saul, the first king, and David, the anointed shepherd boy.